Guys, welcome back. And if you can't tell, we are at the range. We're going to be shooting the Dan Wesson DWX Compact. I'm so freaking pumped. I can't wait. We'll also be shooting the Prodigy. This is going to be the 4.25. We have a CZ Tactical Sport 2 green, and of course, the Dan Wesson. If you don't know what this is a subcompact 1911 Dan Wesson and a CZ all mixed together. We can't wait. I just can't wait. And of course, we got the TP9 SFX Canic. If you guys are new to this channel, my name is Jeff, and this is where I share my random passions with you guys. My passions for guns, my passion for cars. I have a 2023 C8 hardtop convertible 70th anniversary Corvette. It's always a handful saying that. And my passions for watches. If you'd like to check those things out, go through the channel. You guys are more than welcome. But in the meantime, let's hop right to it. Let's shoot this DWX Compact, and let's do a full review later. I just want to get right to it and start shooting it. I can't wait. Give me your thoughts. If you own it, how's it been coming along? How many rounds do you got through it? And will you be concealed carrying this firearm? Alright guys, we are back from the range. I hope you enjoyed the first mag impressions of this Dan Wesson DWX Compact. Let me know what your first impressions were. Did it shoot flat enough? Were the injection patterns pretty good? This was 115 brass. And what is your experience with this gun so far? We're going to go over my first impressions. Would I buy this again for this price point after shooting it? And is it worth the hype? So let's go over all the specs. And first things first, we'll make sure everything is cleared. The first thing that I noticed is the weight. It's about 30 ounces. And this is about the same size as a Glock 19. Reference point, this is a Glock 45. And if you can tell, it's right about the same length. Obviously, it's a little bit thinner. Now, this is a Glock 19, a Glock 45, so it's going to be a little bit longer as far as the grip, right? But as a reference point, this is a perfect size, in my opinion, for a CCW. The first thing I did notice is the front serrations. Though they're not very aggressive, man, it's just absolutely smooth. So if you choose to press check, I know it's a debatable option to have as far as checking your gun. I don't mind. It's going to be pretty easy. So I am pretty impressed with the front and rear serrations. Now the front sight, man, that green picks up so well. So this is tritium. The black is going to be, the rear is going to be blacked out with serrations, and it just enables my eyes to pick up that green so easy. Now that's going to depend on you. Everybody's eyesight is a little bit different. By shooting this at the range, I had no problem picking this up immediately. Now for something that's going to be a home defense, I do like to have tritium on the rear sights. I don't have to have it, but for home defense, something like this, they glow in the dark, so if my gun's positioned on the nightstand, safely of course, It's much easier to pick up that at night. If I'm drowsy, if I'm tired, I can just see these glowing all day long. Now, that just comes down to training, so it's not a huge factor. And of course, it is angled in the rear, good enough height, so you can do one-hand manipulations on a table, on the back of your heel, whatever you need to do if your arm is injured in some way. So that's a pretty good option. Top, you got serrations on the top to mitigate glare. And this is going to be a mixture of a 1911, a CZ75, and the Dan Wesson all combined together, which makes this gun so amazing. Trigger pull, this is going to be right around 3 pounds, but the reset on this gun is absolutely absurd. I mean, just spot on. So my first shot on this gun, or first shooting this gun, look at that reset. It's right there. Little lag. Wow. Just amazing. Let's do that one more time. Here's your reset. Little lag. And of course, this is a single stage. Another thing I do like about this that they chose to do is this is going to have your safety on the right hand only. Right? No safety on the left hand side. I prefer to have that. So if you are doing a concealed carry, it slimlines the platform. Not a dramatic amount, but just enough. I really love that option. Now, I'm a right hand shooter, so I don't know if that's going to make a difference to you or not if you're a lefty. And it is pretty small, but very tactile. There are no MIM parts in this. So if anybody's thinking about the Prodigy as a comparison, in my personal opinion, after owning a Prodigy, I wouldn't. There is absolutely no comparison between this gun and a Prodigy. This is a lot more accurate. It is very reliable. So far, I think we put about 400 rounds through this today. Not one jam. Not one single jam. Prodigy's hit or miss. I've had some issues with that as far as jamming. You would say maybe it's the ammo, but I used the same ammo through all these guns and didn't have any problems. I'm not knocking the Prodigy. I still think that's a great platform, but there's just no comparison if anybody's thinking about it, in my opinion. Working our way down to the grip. This is going to be a frag style pattern. I believe these grips are interchangeable. And working our way down to the trigger, like I said before, this is going to be a 1911 style trigger. Now, one thing you're going to notice, well, actually two, there is no option currently for an RMR. So something like the Glock 45 MOS, as you can tell, you have a plate for your RMR. And there's also no option to put a light. Now, I train with and without a light on my firearm, so it's not a big deal for me, especially for a CCW. Now, currently, like I said, we've got about 400 to 500 rounds. Once we hit 1,000 rounds, if it's still shooting pretty accurate, I will be concealed carrying this weapon. Now, the one thing to think about is this is going to be a little bit unique. From what I understand, from what I could tell so far, the serialized part of this gun is up here. So what is that? Why am I even bringing that up? I'm bringing that up because kind of like I think the SIG P320s, the internal mechanism of this gun comes out, which I believe in the future you should be able to buy different frames. Now, they haven't announced that yet, but I can only suspect that if the internals come out and they're going to allow you to buy different frames, obviously you could choose the one for the 1911 style, 1913 rail. I believe, in my opinion, that's probably why they're not announcing this gun with the rail yet. I know originally in 2020 they did. They showed it with this rail, but again, the serialized part of this gun is internal, not the actual frame. Now, looking at the barrel, this says match. It's extremely accurate. Now, that's obviously going to depend on you as a shooter, and how much you train as far as how accurate this gun is. But so far, I am extremely, extremely impressed. And let me tell you, that speaks volumes. Just for CZ in general, I mean, collaborating with Dan Wesson is just a dream, right? This is the CZ Tactical Sport 2 in green. But, I mean, CZ overall, as a company, in collaboration with Dan Wesson, is one of the best out there. I mean, there's several other companies out there, but they deliver. When I picked up, I mean, I have the orange, the CZ Shadow 2 orange, the green, and now this. All three have absolutely delivered. That means so much to me, because there are so many firearms where the hype is out there and it's not, the hype is not legit. I mean, some guns that shoot absolutely terrible. But for this one and all the options it represents and the way it shot so far, in my opinion, I would absolutely buy this gun again. And it's one of the best compacts I've ever shot. Now, some people are going to talk about the new CZ Shadow 2 compact. That's going to be a double single. I prefer not to have a double single action as far as my concealed carry. That's just me. If I could choose a gun, it's going to be a single action. That's something that I've learned as far as a shooter. That's something that I appreciate a lot more. Guys, let me know what you think. Single action, double single, what do you prefer? That is going to be personal preference. Now, if you're carrying this, it's going to be locked back, and obviously, for me, I'm going to have my safety on. There is no decocker option currently for this gun that I'm aware of. So that's something you're going to have to think about. It doesn't bother me. Again, I've trained carrying platforms like this before, so I'm very comfortable. And just to reiterate one more time, there are no MIM parts on this gun. The overall feel, everything is as expected. I mean, it's just absolutely tight tolerance. Mag release is absolutely perfect. You can tell that from my hands, I don't have to do, any kind of adjustment really to hit that mag release. So that is feeling pretty good. Is it ambidextrous? I believe so. Takedown, one push of a pin, chamber it back, and takedown should be pretty easy. As far as the match barrel, the average person, you're not going to know the difference. I highly doubt you're going to shoot enough rounds to wear out this barrel as an average shooter. If you're a competitive shooter and you choose to compete with this, I don't know. I don't even know if there is a actual competition for this particular platform. But there's been other people that I've seen shoot this at 100 yards, hitting with no problem. This gun is kind of a mixture between a 1911, a CZ75, and something like a competition pistol like this green, the TS2 green. The only reason why I say that is because it's so freaking accurate and it shoots so flat. It's just unbelievable. And this is toolless, so you're not going to have to use any kind of tool to break this down. Something I really do appreciate. And obviously, look at that barrel. That barrel is recessed nice and tight inside there. I love the way this is set up. So guys, if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Let me know what your first impressions are so far. Oh, look at that. It's skeletonized in the rear as far as the trigger. Man, that just shoots so well. So first impressions, recap, absolutely highly recommend it. We'll put a couple more heart rounds through this, and then we'll be doing a concealed carry. I do have a holster currently now on order. I did not at the time of the footage of shooting this, and that's because I did not know if I was going to like it. I highly recommend you get your hands on whatever platform you're interested in. Shoot it first before you believe all the hype, and I would do that before you order a holster. And guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this full review, and we will have a lot more footage on this on the channel. So you guys enjoy your holidays, and I'll see you at the next upload.